I'm in Oldham town centre on the grooming gang accountability. Hey, peace, sister! Got two girls sticking the sign up there having a laugh, you know, the sign for victory. Anyway, Facebook have interfered with me already. As it started, I tried to film and they wouldn't even let me come on live. But here I am now.
And it's historical, and all the way up to now with the grooming gangs, nothing ever gets done, nothing ever gets sorted for the children. So this is why we've come today, the start of our accountability tour. It will be going all the way through to November. We will be in one location every month, and it is about accountability, because no councillor, no senior police officer, nobody, none of them ever get held to account for what they've actually done, and what they've done is nothing. They do nothing for our children. These institutions, these systems in place are supposed to protect our children, and they don't. They haven't done for decades, and they're still not doing it now. It doesn't matter that we've got grooming gangs in the news anymore, because the system behind it doesn't work. It needs completely dismantling and starting again. Children need to be protected in this country, and they're not. They're just simply not. And if they were, then the people that make the decisions, the people that delayed action, the people that turned their backs on children when they were trying to tell them what was happening to them, those people would be held accountable. They would lose their jobs. They would have some kind of disciplinary action for the sheer neglect that they showed, especially in Oldham. So we're going to call out some names. You all know most of the names, because people like Billy, people like Rajamir, people like Debbie Barrett-Cole, they call out the names. So you've got Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester. Andy Burnham has recently been offered to debate Rajamir, and he has completely ignored it. Now, what are you scared of, Andy Burnham? That you can't debate somebody if you are telling the truth. What are you scared of, Jim McMahon, if you can't come in and debate Rajamir? So these people, along with Ian Hopkins, along with Tony Lloyd, along with members of Oldham Council, you took the title, you took the prestige of having that title, you took the wage to go with it. Now take the damn responsibility of your lack of actions. David Jones is one of them. Then you have got, I've forgotten the name, David Jones. Huh? Yeah, somebody in between. Bear with me, bear with me. Here we go. Sorry, I missed out Peter Fahy as well.
I got him the sack, by the way.
Can people hear this okay? Could you give me a nod?
So in Oldham Council, you have leaders that were in place during the large period of the grooming gangs. One of those was David Jones from 2003 to 2008. The next one was Howard Sykes. I think we all know everybody's feelings on Howard Sykes.
Cyril's mate.
He was friends with Cyril Smith for over 20 years. He saw the lot, yeah, he did. And
thank you, Sarah.
His way of getting out of things is, especially when it came to Oldham, he never knew any of this was going on. He never saw any reports. But what he's never done is taken responsibility as his role of head of council here at Oldham. He was responsible, along with all of them, for the safeguarding of children in this town. You've then got Jim McMahon, who followed Howard Sykes as the leader of Oldham Council. Sorry? Yes, he did. He did. And then the next person I've got is Jean Stratton. She deserves a mention because she was also a council leader here in Oldham from 2016 to 2018. These names matter because none of these people have taken responsibility for their lack of inaction. Our children need protecting, and if these people who take the money and take the titles won't do it, then it's our job to do it. And that's why we put on this tour to start calling these people out, and we will be calling the names out in every town in the north to make sure that people understand people got paid and they turned their backs on children. So all the way through to November, there'll be one a month. If you follow us on X, then you will see the poster with all of the dates on. Yeah. Every time an event finishes, we will bring out the next poster. So the next poster for St Helens will come out after, probably on Monday, by the time the poster's actually done. But what we want to do, by the time we get to Manchester, which will be the very last date on our tour, we want to see at least 1,000 people standing shoulder to shoulder with us. Because if we don't get the numbers, then they think they've won. They will stay silent. They won't hold themselves to accountability because why should they, if we're not going to force them to do it? So if we get 1,000 people at Manchester, we are going to take this to London. We are going to go and camp ourselves outside of Parliament. We are going to go and camp outside of GB News, because GB News keep refusing to have the likes of Billy Howarth, Raj Amir, Debbie Barrett-Cole and Nick Buckley on. These are the people that know what happened. They know the truth. It's no good having politicians on because they are part of the system that is broken. So join us on every part of this tour this year. Stand with us, come and hear the survivors speak, and by the time we get to Manchester, let's all rally and get to London and call them out properly. Let them have no place to hide anymore. So thank you for listening to me.
Okay, everybody, so we're in Oldham. We're in Oldham to make politicians accountable for the grooming gangs. That's the nub of it.
So, before I move on to my next speaker, I just want to cover Raja Mir is unable to attend today. No, Raja's got his little kid, and obviously if you've got kids, you can't be bringing them all the time.
I should really be in there somewhere, but I don't want to get in people's way, you know what I mean?
So, everybody read this online last week, the Oldham Chronicle. For many years, we've been trying to get the Oldham media up on side to to tell the story of what we know happened here in Oldham and what happened there in Rochdale, what happened everywhere else. The Oldham Chronicle, for the first time, has written an article. If you haven't read it, I suggest you go and read it because it exposes exactly what we've been saying for the last 20 years about Oldham and Rochdale. It's told you exactly what has happened. There was a cover-up to child abuse for the sake of votes. People say they turned a blind eye. I don't see that as turning a blind eye. I see that as facilitation of child abuse, and only facilitation. And Tammy's absolutely right. We are the last line of defence for our children. It's down to us to protect our children. It's quite clear the state are either not good at it or don't want to do it. So it's down to us. We've got to do this. So I'm going to move it on to my next speaker, who's a hero of mine. Don't roll your eyes at me, Deborah. This lady,
here she comes, very brave lady.
Is unprecedented. She's been ran out of her own town. She can't come back unless 6 members of my security team walk her to her car and back. That's how dangerous she's got because she stood up for Oldham's children. So please, make her feel welcome back in
Yeah, very, very brave lady here now coming on to speak. The persecution that this woman has suffered has been incredible just for speaking out. Please share this. Please share this Facebook video, please. Let's get the message out to everybody. Hey. Very, very brave lady here.
Tiny little bit.
You all right?
There we go.
Got your coat in case you go.
Right, thank you very much. He's catching me in case I fall. It's nice to be back home. I must say, it's I know it's a bit of a shithole, but it's my shithole. You know, it will be nice when it's finished. If Oldham Council ever finish it, that's the thing. A lot of you might know who I am and what I actually did. I got myself in a bit of trouble going up to me council meeting, and I just wanted to ask a question. And we can all ask questions. We're allowed to ask questions. You can send a question in, and I just wanted to ask one question, and that was about Shabir Hamid, and that is Daddy from the Grooming gangs, and why Oldham Council didn't tell the residents of Oldham, you guys, why Oldham Council didn't tell us that he worked for Oldham Council with vulnerable families. He was a welfare officer. And also, the other question that I wanted to ask, well, part of the question was why was Jim McMahon, when he was council leader, hiding the fact and not telling parents, I'm a parent, why he didn't tell us parents that shisha bars were grooming children in Oldham, on Union Street, on King Street. You know, we didn't know about that, and it's not as if the council didn't send out flyers and didn't have a council website where we could go and look at things like that, because I lived in a council house. I got a flyer every few months giving me updates of what's happening in Oldham. So, and I read that. I always read it. It went in the bin after, but I read it. And never once did I hear about girls, children being dragged into shisha bars, being raped. Never once did I read about, you know, protect your children. You know, never once did I hear about schools being told about this. Never once was I told about taxis picking up kids at Addishire School, Council School. Well, in fact, near enough every school in Oldham, they was being taken. And they were being gang raped. And I won't go into what happened to those children because there's children here. But all I can say is it's affected their lives forever. It doesn't not affect their lives. They are damaged. They're damaged. They are damaged. They are damaged beyond. And they struggle every day to get up sometimes. Sometimes they struggle to even think about what they've got to do next. And it's not fair that we have a council, that Oldham as a council, one didn't even want to answer that question. We all know what they did. They walked out of the meeting twice, and on the third time when they came back in the meeting, they made the biggest mistake of their lives, and they did. Because what I did then, I heckled the council. I am a mother, and I just let rip. I let rip about Aruj Shah, the council leader now, hanging out with a convicted heroin dealer, Irish Immy, who's now, believe it or not, a convicted heroin dealer who was Dale Cregan's getaway driver who murdered 2 police officers, one of them from Oldham. He's now standing in the local elections for Werneth. Can you believe it? There's a big plaque on the wall, is there? Well, I'll tell you now. And this message goes out to Irish Immy. So I hope you're watching this because you're thick as 2 short planks. I hope you listen to this, Irish Immy, and I'm going to look direct into the camera.
Which one?
You ain't gonna win.
Hey!
I will make it my life's mission to ruin your chances. You ruined my life by sharing my face
my home and my name into 18 Islamic groups calling me a far-right racist, and I'm not. So I will make it my plan, my life goal now, to make sure that you do not stand as a candidate and you will not win in Wearmouth. That's my promise to you, Irish in me, you thick as two-short plank.
Yeah, and that's a good promise.
You see them police officers? You see all them police officers there? And there's some over there. They all know who Irish in me is. They all know who he is. And he shot one of their own. That's what he did. His mate, Delphi, shot one of their own. And he drove him away to a nice safe place in Leeds. But yet, do you know what they did when he shared my face, my home and my name into 18 Islamic groups?
Nothing.
They did absolutely nothing. He incited violence against me. Are you listening, officers? He incited violence against me. I then got threatened with rape, kidnap, and I'm going to burn your house down. That's what I got living in Oldham, and the protection that I got from Greater Manchester Police was nothing.
Because the political gangsters.
Hang your heads in shame.
Political gangsters, that's what they are.
Hang your heads
Okay,
in
we've got a
shame.
load of police officers here. She's looking directly at them.
And when the police came into that council meeting, PC Ali, lovely officer he was lovely. He was recording me. I said, are you recording me? He said, yeah. I said, can I record you? He said, yeah. So I did. I went live on Facebook. There's been over a million views of that. Over 1 million.
Good.
And guess what I'm going to do? Every week up until the elections, officers, I'm going to share that all over social media, all over again.
And I'm going to share it from you.
And then 1,000 people are going to share it all over again. So, but what this is about children. This is about children. It's not about me.
Sorry, I don't smoke.
It's not about me.
No, it's getting it out there, isn't it?
It is getting it out there. And the thing is, there's only one way that we can get Oldham Council out of this council, and that's voting. You've got to vote. You've got to do. Never mind, oh, they're all the same, they all pee in the same pot and all that lot. Forget that. This is more important than anything. I don't care who you vote for, but just don't vote Labour. You can even vote the stupid, wacky Green Party if you want, but don't vote Labour.
They're probably right up here, the Green.
Because they're complicit in the
thing
grooming
is,
gangs.
The thing is, we've all got neighbours, we've all got friends, and we've all got family, and you all know those people that don't go out and vote. You've got enough time. We are now January the 17th. You've now got time to start knocking on your neighbours' doors, knocking on your friends' doors and saying, listen, I know you don't vote, I know you're not really into politics, but it's really, really important this time that you go out and vote. Where I'm living now, I'm actually living in a lovely place, and guess what? I'm a councillor.
Hey!
I am a councillor now. And I respect my job, and I respect my community, and I help my community the best I can. But I am actually, you know when they say everything happens for a reason? Well, when I left Oldham and I had to flee to Somerset, which was over 6 hours drive away, with no friends, no family, didn't know anybody, didn't even know who my neighbours were, nothing. I lived there for a year, up until Irish Immy sending me a message saying, I hope you're enjoying Somerset. But his busy mate, Ruth Shah, had got into council and she was leader. And there was reports of him being seen in the council chambers many a time. So it's no, you know, no skin off my nose that they got my address. And they've got my address again because they wrote to me at my new address. And they sent me a letter. And the letter was that I've got an antisocial behaviour and that I'm not allowed in the council chambers. So, do I want to go and sit and listen to
Well, who's this bloke here? Let's have a look. Everyone's diverting their eyes over there.
Because they couldn't organise a pee up in a brewery, them lot. So we've got a bit of a heckler over there.
Yeah, but it looks like we've got a heckler over there. I don't know what's going on.
Phone call. We're all right.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on, son. I'm going a bit deaf myself. So it's about the children. It's about the children, and every child in Oldham is at risk. When they go to school, they're at risk. When they go to sports clubs or to the library or wherever the children go on their own, they are at risk. So please keep an eye on your children. Check their devices. If you've had a row with a teenager first thing in the morning because they've not tidied the bedroom, trust me, they ain't going to tell you who they're talking to on the social media. So you need to check their devices. See who they are talking to. And if my family are listening to this, which I doubt, I just want to say I love you and I miss you. Thanks for listening to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Debbie Barricole.
What a brave lady, what a legend. The persecution that she suffered in her life.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Deborah Barrett-Cole. It's not easy what she had to do. She's had to come back to the town she loves because the grooming gangs run her out of the Dodge. But they won't keep her out of Dodge because she's got us behind them. Right, so again, I've told you, Oldham and Rochdale are just 2 towns in a list of many. So I've invited a good friend of mine across from Hull, and he's also, like myself, he's fighting this fight in Hull, because Hull has a massive problem too. So it's only right that we share the platform with this. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome from Hull Against Grooming, Ian Oakey.
Go on, Ian.
Cheers,
Go on, Ian.
Good on Ian.
Get up, big boy.
I managed that all by myself, look at that. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone.
As been said before, today's the first of the PAGUK Northern Tour. And as we settle into our lives of the euphoria of the Christmas period, I would like to reflect on the reasons why we're all here. As a nation, it is not measured only by its wealth or its power, but how it protects the most innocent and vulnerable among us. Today, I stand before you to speak about one of the greatest responsibilities we have. Gonna have to get my speech this side. That's a duty to protect our children from exploitation, abuse and harm. Children are not commodities. They are not tools of profit, manipulation or neglect. They are the future of our families, our communities and our nation itself. When even one child is harmed, the moral foundation of our society is shaken. Yet too often, the very systems meant to protect our children have failed them. Government institutions entrusted to safeguarding the innocent have moved too slowly, looked the other way, or placed bureaucracy above human life. When laws are weak, enforcement is inconsistent, or accountability is absent. Children pay the price. That is unacceptable in a nation that claims to value justice and human dignity. Holding our government accountable is not unpatriotic, it is patriotic. True patriotism demands honesty, courage, willingness to demand a better for those in power. Our leaders exist to serve the people, not to shield themselves from responsibility. When they fail to protect our children, it is our duty as citizens to speak, to act and insist to reform. Thank you. Protecting children is not a partisan issue. It is a moral obligation shared by every parent, every teacher, police officer and public servant. It requires strong laws, real enforcement, transparency and commitment of putting children before politics. But protection is not about punishment. It is about prevention. It means educating families, strengthening communities and ensuring that every child is seen, heard and safeguarded. Let us be a nation that refuses to look the other way, a nation that demands accountability from the institutions, a nation that stands united in defence of our children. Because when we protect our children, we protect our future. And when we defend the innocent, we honour the very soul of our country. The responsibility does not end with words spoken on podiums or promises written in policies. It lives in everyday choices we make as a society. It lives in whether we as we fund children protection services adequately, whether we listen to children speak, and whether we act swiftly and with the warning signs appear. Silence, delay and indifference are not neutral, they are forms of failure. We must also recognise that protecting children requires courage. It means confronting uncomfortable truths, even when they challenge powerful interests and long-standing systems. It means refusing to exist wrongdoing simply because it is inconvenient just to address. Our society truly values its children's most, but willing to look inward, correct its course and place moral responsibility above political comfort. Our nation's strength has always come from the people, from the families who raise the children with love, from teachers who guide them, and from first responders and advocates who step in when others cannot. These are the quiet heroes who remind us that compassion is not a weakness, but a strength in its purest form. Let us commit to building systems that work for the children, not against them. Systems that prioritise safety over silence, truth over denial, and justice over delay. Let us demand transparency in those in power to ensure that no institution, no matter how influential, stands above accountability. This is not about blame, it is not about responsibility. It is about recognising that the measures of our nation will be written not in speeches or slogans, but in how we save our children, how they feel in their homes, schools and communities. If we rise to this challenge, history will remember us, not for what we ignored, but for what we protected. And it will be remembered for generations that we chose courage over comfort and action over apathy. Let us be that generation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got about... hello there, darling. You good?
Yeah, nice to see you.
And you, lovely.
One more time for Ian Hawke.
So we've got about 50 people here. We're in Oldham town centre. We're trying to hold people accountable.
From where you sat, my lovely.
This lady is a very powerful speaker.
You've got to get undressed first. They'll like that here in Oldham.
Please don't forget to share this video if you can. Let's get it out to as many people as possible. The story, the truth, the accountability. As I say, there's about 50 of us here, at the very least 40. We're doing an accountability tour to expose the grooming gangs, the people that covered it up. Which way is she going to face?
Leave me bits out of this.
Right.
We stand here in peaceful solidarity to remember the children who through the ages have been abused by the system and violated in power by those in power. A lot of us standing here actually worked with these children and know what has happened. Why are you here? You here because you want a fair and unbiased investigation into what has gone on in the past.
Absolutely. Yes.
We can all agree we have a God-given duty to protect all children everywhere. We stand in solidarity with the whistleblowers who have bravely stood up to challenge the evil corruption organised by those in power. But the veil is lifting. The tide is turning. You have been lied to and abused by your masters. Every one of us has been born into slavery. The rich and powerful have engineered a master plan to ensure they are in control. They have created institutions to control your thoughts and behaviour. Education wasn't for the masses, it was to control them. They have control of the system, and only the compliant will succeed. There is no freedom or democracy, but we still have to fight with what we've got. We find ourselves in an unprecedented time in history. We all have a common enemy, an enemy of pure evil. This is evil on a scale never witnessed before. This evil has always hidden in the shadows, but now it has shown its face. This evil has infected our schools, universities, churches, libraries, political representatives, judiciary, media, banking, government, the wealthy, royalty, and our young people. But the power they took from the people will return to the people. We're beginning to make a difference. Liberty is the goal. Let us stand for a new world, a decent world. We rely on the survivors. People like Billy and all of you who have made the effort to come and stand here and remind them that we are the many and together we can make change. We have to use the tools, all the tools at our disposal to conquer this evil. The future is going to be worse than the present. The present is already worse than the past. The system thrives on your silence. If you don't trust the players, become the architect. Organize, educate, lead. Speak, even if your voice trembles. Stand, even when your knees knock. Shine, even when the world demands darkness. Let us stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and create a wall so deep, so powerful, entrenched in love and unity that nothing, not even the wickedness of evil, can
Hello,
get
Lorraine.
through. Fear not. Peace be with you. I love you all.
Thank you. There we have it. There's another lady with a brilliant speech. Hello,
One more
Lorraine.
time for that, Dorothy. And now we've got another Dorothy. We're all Dotty. Dotty.
I can see my lovely, sister watching.
Dorothy, turn round.
My sister on my bloodline.
Thank you, and thank you all for coming. I'm Dorothy Lord. Now, I'm going to do something slightly different today. I normally do my script without a script, but I've got a letter I want to just read to bring it all in before I start. And this letter has been sent from
The man from the parish church, the incumbent, he's gone away for a month to Australia. He brings me food bank, so he's finally wrote to that man, Andy Burnham, the Commissioner of the Police, who have ignored the safeguarding failings of the under 5. So let me read out the letter this church member has finally wrote, because the cover-up is from the church. Jim McMahon, OMBC, Andy Burnham and GMP. To Mr Andy Burnham, the Mayor, Greater Manchester of the Combined Authority. It was wrote on the 2nd of December 2025. And I've been fighting this for nearly 10 years. The police have already lost my case file, which I handed in with a witness, 2 witnesses in fact. So he's put, Dear Mr Burnham, regarding Dorothy Lord, I am writing in support of the above named Dorothy Lord, who is waiting to have a meeting with you to express her concerns about the failures of child protection in the metropolitan borough of, guess where? Where we are now, in Oldham. Yes, Oldham. It's not just Oldham. We had people from Rochdale come in. They've been failed as well. And I'm being failed as their whistleblower. I do not know the details of the case this incumbent of the Oldham Parish Church states. But I offered to tell everybody at his PCC and have a discreet meeting with Peter Brown, and they refused to speak to us. So he would have known. So he's put, I do not know the details of the case, but I do know that Dorothy is very sincere, which is, I'm surprised he's put that, because when I met him first time, he said, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and he walked off. But we're like best buddies now. He's done this letter. Dorothy is very sincere in her commitment to child protection, and that she has paid a very high price personally in her pursuit of justice for children in this borough. Her life is on hold, and she is unable to move forward until these matters are addressed. I am asking, please, that you will agree to her request to meet you and present her case. This has gone on for far too long now, and Dorothy needs to have her case heard and the concerns addressed. Now, I think they won't let me have this case because Ofsted have covered up on Jim McMahon's watch the safeguarding failings of the under 5s. Our under 5s are one of the most vulnerable groups in society. They cannot speak out, they're voiceless more or less when it comes to speaking out in a debate. So I did the speaking out, and they sacked me at the Red Robin preschool, one of the preschools, and I was dismissed by a vicar. I finally got a vicar to listen. I don't know whether he'll speak to me, but I'm hoping he does, because when I was on the bus on Thursday, I just had short shrift from Job Centre again, because they don't like whistleblowers. In fact, it's 8 years since they've denied me my benefits, my ESA. I've been denied an appeal, and that's what I want more than anything. I want to go to the courts and tell them about this vicar covering up, and it's on Jim McMahon's watch. That's why Jim McMahon won't help me get legal aid. I need that legal aid because I've got no income. I've had no income for 8 years. I've been funded by my children. Every child matters, and that even means my child. Every child you've got matters, not just in Oldham, in the country, because when Ofsted is failing your children, it's not just Ofsted, it's in the whole country, because they govern a lot of the schools, preschools, childminders, and the childminders are just ignoring me. In fact, I've put something on about childminders and they said, how can we help you at this place? Well, they shouldn't need to ask how they can help a whistleblower who's safeguarded and got protected. I've got more than one protected disclosure, by the way. One's regarding Vanessa George and Colin Blanchard from Rochdale. Vanessa George is out, but he's not out yet. Now, when I was on the bus, I got a phone call. I'm sorry to divert you back to that bus journey, but I got a phone call coming back from Job Centre, and it was my doctor. I got the shock of my life because I'd hobbled to my doctor on the 2nd of January because I'm struggling to walk sometimes. Weather can affect me. Sometimes it's not too bad. I hobbled and I got there for 8 o'clock. Now, if you get there for 8 o'clock, you can normally get an appointment within 2 days, 48 hours or whatever they call it. So, on the 15th, 13 days after, doctor rings me on the bus. Well, I had to turn it up because I'm not very good at hearing myself. I'm starting to get a bit deaf. So everybody could hear him, and he's at it. And I've even brought it with me today because he's told me to ring 101. The police! But the police have been ignoring it. So I said to doctor, the police are ignoring me. I said, you're the doctor. You know it's gone on. You've done this disclosure to the MASH team. Last June, on the 3rd of June, he did the disclosure after 7 years of asking him. He did the disclosure for the children, the under 5s. And they've ignored him and they've not responded. Anyway, some of what he put on it wasn't right, so I've had to amend it because when it goes into court, I want it to have the truth on. So I've amended it for him. So I told him on the bus, I says, look, doctor, I says, I've gone to the courtesy of amending it for you, but I'd like you to get in touch with the police because it's your disclosure, your referral to MASH team, you've done it on my behalf because he's the safeguarding lead in my doctor's practice. But my doctor's practice on Chapel Street, Zavid Chowan's practice, they don't do safeguarding. They said it's not in their remit. The only people they safeguard is the staff. And all the staff, the receptionist, they've all been rude to me. They've had a go at me for safeguarding an elderly lady and my doctor in the past, and they're trying to get rid of me. So when you try and safeguard somebody, they want it hidden, covered up. They don't want it to be disclosed to anybody. But I've got a load of disclosures and I'm still suffering the detriments of disclosure. Now the gentleman who I mentioned at that church, Oldham Parish Church, he has decided to get somebody to bring that food bank for me while he's away. He said he didn't realise that a food bank was a lifeline for me, and yet I've had no income for 8 years now. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about dishing out the 5 fish and the bread? So anyway, they're going to bring it to me, and Jim McMahon still hasn't responded. We've been to see him. I still haven't got any joy from the job centre because they don't want to give me, they want me to have job seekers and get another job. But I haven't had the appeal for the job I've lost yet. So if anybody can put me in touch with a right good solicitor who's prepared to do it, that's what I want, even if I have to pay. I mean, I did have an insurance policy and they wouldn't do it, and I've lost that now. But I'm still will find a way of paying, because I still have an house. So at the end of the day, that justice means more to me than them bricks and mortars. And can I just say, I'm so pleased for them that have turned out today. I'm proud of each and every one of you.
Yeah.
And every one of you who stands out and speaks for kids, you've got my utter respect. And all you who've come and
About
out.
50, 60 people here.
Thank you very much, Billy.
Always welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Dorothy. Okay guys, I have got one more person left to speak now. This lad is a good friend of mine from Rochdale. This is the first time he's stood on this platform and he's ever so brave for doing so. So please bear with him, give him some respect. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Nadine. Come up here, my brother. Come stay up here, yeah. There you go. In your own time.
Come on, mate, you can do it.
Thank you all for being here. First, I would like to thank Billy for inviting me to speak at the Survivors campaign. I am grateful for the opportunity to stand here and share my voice alongside so many brave people. I am here today as a survivor of historic abuse. For many years, I stayed silent. After my sweet sister-in-law took her own life here in Oldham over a year ago, that finally allowed me to open up about the horrific abuse I suffered all those years ago. She suffered also through many years of abuse, torture and harassment here in Oldham, and there's never been an inquiry. Until then, I did not realise how deeply it was affecting me. When I did realise, I saw the damage it had already caused. It affected my relationship with my wife, with my family, and even with my children. At one point, I had to separate from them because the pain I was carrying. Thankfully, we are together now, and we are okay. But I want to be honest, the road is still rocky. Healing does not happen overnight. Between 12 and 14, I was sexually groomed, abused in a madrasa Islamic institution, Lahore, Pakistan, 1993-1994. 3 of the perpetrators are living in the UK today. 1 has been identified, 2 have not. I have been told repeatedly that they cannot be identified. That is something I continue to live with. In February last year, I was going through a safeguarding issue at Tameside College. It was deeply traumatic. During that time, I experienced suicidal thoughts. I shared this not for sympathy, but to show how serious and damaging abuse and silence can be. Survivors need to be heard, believed, and protected. I have since become involved with charity organisations, and their support has helped me tremendously. I want to acknowledge Anthony Seddon in Ashton-under-Lyne, who referred me to We Are Survivors in Manchester. That referral changed my life, and support saves lives. There is often discussion about grooming gangs, and Pakistani men are frequently mentioned. I want to be absolutely clear. This is not about race. Abuse is not caused by race, religion, or culture. However, this is a serious problem within our community, and too often it is misunderstood or denied. Some people defend abusers, some blame the victims, us the survivors. Many have told me to stay quiet. I cannot stay quiet anymore.
Don't stay quiet! Don't stay quiet! Don't stay quiet!
Silence protects monsters. Silence protects monsters. Silence destroys lives. This protest is not about hate. It's not about race or attacking any community. I am from this community myself. I am from Oldham. I am standing here for survivors, for those who were hurt, for those who are still suffering, for those who never got justice, and for those who are still too afraid to speak. We deserve support. We deserve protection. We deserve to be heard. Today, I stand here for us, for survivors. Thank you.
There we have it. What a powerful speech there.
One more time from Nadine.
It's not about race. It's about survivors.
That has blown me away.
Me
I don't know
too.
about any of you guys, that has just blown me away. And that's the key. What's just happened here today is the key. We're the first group to do it. We won't be the last, because that's the way forward. Uniting against the abuse of children. That's what it's always about. Thank you for coming. God bless you and God bless Oldham. Thank you.
Thank you.
To all the streamers and everybody who's streaming, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, anything, please share, because this is an important message. Please share and please tell everybody. The next one is St Helens. Come and join us, because we're going to be going on from there to the next place, to the next place, to the next place. Alan wants to sign us off.
Here we go with Alan. Alan Merritt, the last speaker of this event. Please don't forget to share this. We need this out there to many people as possible.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, oh wow.
The last speaker was a Muslim guy explaining about the abuse that happened to him. You know, so this is not about any particular race.
I've just nearly missed it.
This is simply about child abuse, full stop.
In Alan. So one of the other things I cover is the abuse of No View School and Cambridge House in Rochdale by Cyril Smith and his cronies, who went for many years abusing children. We've been fighting that fight now for over 40 years. Well, Alan has been doing the same over Beechorm House, and he's here to talk to you about Beechorm House and the issues what have arisen from there. So ladies and gentlemen, please a warm welcome for my good friend Alan Murray.
Good old Alan, yeah, well done Alan.
Sometimes when I do speak I get a bit emotional, so you're going to have to accept that when you talk about the historic abuse of our children, it's daunting on the people that have actually been there. When you think that the way my family and I as a child from 0 to 6 years of age were placed in 4 different children's homes. At 6 years of age, I went before a judge and the judge said to me, would you like to go to the seaside? 11 years, a total of 17 years I spent in institutions where they would not accept any harm, loss or damage that was done to them children, where adults were beating them. But what I really want to do is actually pay a tribute to a thousand citizen journalist who is quite ill and very, very poorly in his bed, unable to walk and bedridden. A guy called Philip Watkins, guys, used to get thousands upon thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views on the videos Phil did. He's bedridden now and he's unable to go around the country like we do, supporting the likes of Billy. But people like myself, we go for miles, we travel everywhere to try to speak to common people about the historic abuse of our children, the grooming, the trafficking. I've seen politicians, I've been in the Home Office, I've been in the Lords, I've been in Parliament, I've been interviewed on numerous times, and I've spoken to many a politician, and still nothing gets done. We can talk about this for a long, long time. Children's files are redacted. Children's files are erased, like children are. Adults do horrible things, and some of these perpetrators are politicians. Why nothing gets done is because this goes to the very, very top. Our police officers are involved, right? They're complicit. Our judges are involved. They are complicit. Our councils are involved. They are complicit. One of my best friends was a highly decorated police officer in the Metropolitan Police, and a guy called John Wedger. He can get 1 million views when he does a video. John Wedger was literally thrown under the bus by the police. He was there to catch the bad guys. He was there to catch and go after these perpetrators. That was his job. He was a police officer. No harm, no loss, no injury. He went after them perpetrators. The police don't hold their common law. They don't uphold the common law. They swear to. You know? If you murder somebody under common law, you did murder somebody. If you hurt somebody under common law, they don't know the law themselves. They do not know the law themselves. They do not. Firemen, bang, they kick a door in. No harm, no loss, no injury. They go and get that person. Police officers have been so complicit in neglect of our children. People have been murdered in police stations. There are people who have been raped in police stations, right? In custody suites. There are police officers. No one goes on in the changing areas and changing rooms of these police stations and saying nothing because they're too comfortable here in their own lifestyles. If they speak out, they will do what they did to John Wedger. They would turn around and say, John, I'm getting phone calls from high above. Shut the fuck up. Basically, shut up, like they did with Maggie Oliver. A Greater Manchester police officer, they've done exactly the same to Maggie Oliver. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish, guys, by just reading a little bit which explains how the corporations and the big finance and the people with the money behind and the elitists. Let's start with the elitist. I stand here today not as a statistic, not as a case file, not as a problem to be managed, but as a survivor. For decades, the phrase child abuse has been spoken quietly, carefully, as if the truth itself might offend. But today, I'm not here to whisper. I'm here to tell you that some of the greatest harm done to children was not done in dark alleys by strangers. It was done in buildings with letterheads, job titles, logos and balance sheets. This corporate child abuse is stemmed for centuries. It happens when institutions value reputation over children, when safeguarding becomes a box-ticking exercise, when complaints are buried, survivors are silenced, and the legal teams deployed faster than the care of those people. As a child, I was told to trust the system. I was told that these places existed to protect me. I was told adults knew better or knew best. But the system knew, and it chose silence. Corporate abuse thrives not because of one sees, because of too many people look away. It survives through hierarchy, fear and money, through non-disclosure agreements, through the gagging of victims, through reports that are lost, through investigations that go nowhere, through apologies that never ever come. And let me be clear, abuse does not end when harm stops. It lives in survivors' bodies, in the sleepless nights, in the years of lost trauma, in the lifelong fight to believe. When corporations and institutions fail children, they do not just break safeguarding laws, they break lives. And what hurts it most is not only what was done to us, but what was done afterwards. No accountability, no meaningful apology, no change. Nothing has ever changed. Some of my best friends, survivors, have been on the Grooming gang inquiry, which was supposed to lead, let's get this right, it's not some made up word. You're invading another human being's space. It's raping the person, another human being. You're going beyond anything by, invading another person's space. Survivors are asked not to move on while those responsible move upwards. But today I refuse to be silent, because the silence is the oxygen of abuse. I speak for the child I was, who had no voice, no power and no protection. And I speak for every survivor who was ignored, discredited or worn down until they stopped speaking. This is not about the past. This is not about what is still happening when institutions protect themselves before they protect children. If you are in power, hear this clearly. Your policies mean nothing without action. Your words mean nothing without accountability. Your concerns mean nothing without justice. And to survivors listening, you are not alone. Your memory is not flawed. Your plan is not extravagant. Your truth matters. We are not here for sympathy. We are here for recognition, responsibly and reform. But because children deserve safety, not silence, and survivors deserve the truth, and ensure, which we should ensure. Thank you, all of you, for listening to me today. I wanted to speak more about the horrific abuse that I went through, but I have stood up on these platforms before and told about the acid baths they put us in, about the carbolic soap they used to wash your mouth out in, we used to burn your skin. Those are the forms of abuse that all my family went through. And the Merritt family never got an apology. They didn't give us an apology for the simple reason it's an acknowledgement of guilt. Thank you, guys.
There we are, there's Alan Merritt. Very powerful story there.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Alan Merritt.
So I'm in Oldham
And
town
if there's
centre.
nobody else? Anybody else? Open mic.
Hi everybody, I'm Andrea, and the next event will be held at St Helens Town Centre at the Town Hall. You're all very...
Sorry, Andrea, we've got the Town Hall, but I've got like this, we're going to the church.
Alright, Billy said we're going to the church. Right, so we'll do that, but I'm inviting you all, and I've already started inviting MPs, like David Baines, the Labour MP, just elected. Let's see if he turns up. He recently, when he was in power, he voted against the national grooming gang inquiry. He's got an invite like everybody else. Let's see if any of them councillors are going to turn up, even the ones that are going to be running and the ones that are already in chambers now in St Helens. Let's see if they're interested, if they're going to do anything, or if they want to listen to any of the stories from them children that were abused in the care system in St Helens. It was mentioned in the J report. The J report found there was quite a lot of significant abuse in the care homes. I don't know why these homes are called care homes. These children was not cared for. None of them. None whatsoever. So I'll just finish off there, but you will all be made very welcome when you come to St Helens. Thank you.
Thank you.
So next up, St Helens, guys. Share the material from today, and if everyone here comes to St Helens and you bring one person with you, we'll double the numbers. Yeah, we're here for the survivors. If we're not here, there's nobody for the survivors. It is down to us. And like I said before, God bless you all and God bless Oldham. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everybody, thank you for watching. Very powerful. Please don't forget to share. You know, this, I've got to be honest, this moves me. I come away from these events absolutely some lads on their way to the football, on their way to the football. Who are you supporting, lads? Okay, Brexit Brian loves you. Thank you for watching. I'm in Oldham Town Centre. It's been very powerful, very moving. I've got to be honest, I feel quite shaken about this. You know, some of the testimonies are horrendous. We got a woman there who was prevented from any income whatsoever. She was basically counselled. We've got so many people here that have suffered directly as a consequence of the out in the grooming gangs. So yeah, my next event that I'm aware of. Hello, darling. My next event that I'm aware of will be the religious walk event thing in Whitechapel. I think that's the 31st. But I'm sure I will be finding plenty to do in the meantime. Thank you for watching. Brexit Brian loves you. Have a nice rest of the weekend. Bye now. Yeah, that was a good speech. Where are you going now? Okay, mate.
Put in there that you need a lift. It'll get picked up. Sure you pay transit direct. That's pay transit direct.
Oh dear.